Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Hobby Dude 007 channel. Hobby Dude has been remiss. Here we are almost 6 months into the year, and I have forgotten a very important birthday wish, and that is happy birthday, the 60th anniversary of the Ford Mustang. And you know, in one of my last videos, I was debating on the short track group build whether to do a Camaro or a Mustang. Well, in that it is the Mustang's 60th birthday, the first one is going to be one of the two Mustangs that we looked at, either the 69 or the 71. Either one are going to be great and they're going to be fun. But I also wanted to share with you, in that it is the 60th birthday of Mustang, some of the Mustangs that I have in my collection, kit-wise, and some resin bodies. And I also want to share with you the direction I want to go for the theme build for the Atlanta Southern Nationals. You know, one of their two themes this year is pickup trucks and the 60th birthday of Mustang. I've enjoyed it. Some of the themes have been out of my genre, but I've been blessed and done pretty well in some of the themes. So, but more importantly, I've had a blast doing these things. So I do want to try to get a Mustang done this year and maybe a pickup, but I've got something else for the show itself that I'll share with you later on. But so I want us to look at, like I said, the Mustangs in my collection and give you an idea of which direction I'm going with both the short track build and for the Southern Nationals. Let's get over to it. Before we get to the Mustangs, I want to share with you a couple of show shout-outs. This coming Saturday, May the 18th, the SCMA has their Upstate model contest. Tons of vendors at this one, always a great time. There's a lot of great stuff in this show. You've got the box stock shootout, you've got the 2024 Stock Car Challenge, and the 2024 Big Drag Classic. And there's your address there, the Simpsonville Activity Center at 310 West Curtis Street in Simpsonville, South Carolina. You see some contact information there. And you can go over to the website or the Facebook page for SCMA and get the entry forms and print those off, things like that. A quick look, there's your box stock shootout, your automotive classes, the non-automotive, and you've got a 62 and over category there. And again, the Stock Car Challenge, the categories there, and the Big Drag Classic. But this is always a really good show. The guys do a really, really great job putting it on. And as I understand it, there's going to be a number of content creators at this one. I think at last count, I think there were 6. And I was going to name them all that I know are coming. However, I'm going to leave somebody out. So in fairness, I'm not even going to try. But if it's like the SCMA show, the Hope It Don't Snow show, I think there were 9 of us, I think, there. Something like that, maybe 10. So I look forward to this, to seeing a lot of the other content creators. We have some fun when we get together too, and it's just going to be great. So you're going to get a lot of great coverage from a lot of content creators from this show as well. Next is a show that's a bit further off, but I mentioned it just briefly in the opening, and that is the Southern Nationals that the Acme Group, the Atlanta Car Modeling Enthusiasts, put on. And this is on October the 26th at the Clarence Brown Convention or Conference Center in Cartersville, Georgia, just north of Atlanta. Guys, this thing, if you haven't been to the show since this new venue came up last year, guys, you got to make this. The vendors were unbelievable, way more than I've ever seen there as well. I mean, they were even out in the hallway. Over 930 something or 940, I think, something models in the show. And it was just some awesome work. The theme again for this year is 60 years of the Ford Mustang and pickup trucks. So we got 2 themes this year, and then you've got your regular top 10. And just an absolutely first-rate show. These guys Acme puts on a class show, and go ahead and make your plans to be there. Got plenty of time, so mark it down and get you a room. Now, let's get over to the Mustangs. Again, happy birthday to the Ford Mustang. You know, over the years, there have been a number of model manufacturers that have made models of the Mustang in almost every year, and in a number of scales. And originally I was going to pull out all of them, whether it was the resin bodies, and start sharing, but that video would be just too long, and it would be a nightmare for me to try to dig them all out the way they're stacked in there. So I thought what I would do is focus on one of the most unique resin Mustangs that I have in my possession that I think is really, really cool. And I want to focus on the short track group build as far as what I have available to me, and which one of those two Mustangs I want to do. And also give you a heads up on the direction I want to go with the Atlanta project. If you remember my Corvette custom last year, I've got something kind of similar in mind for that. But I want to take a look at this early Mustang here. This is a Monogram 1/24 scale, 64.5 convertible, and this is a really cool kit. Built one of these in years past, and it's really a good kit. And check this out. Got a great interior and a very realistic looking ragtop there. But really a cool kit. If you want to do one of the first ones, can't go wrong with this pup. Let's move on over to that short track group build. As you remember, I had one of these two in mind, the 69 or the 71. Well, one of my subscribers actually sent this sometime back, and I really wanted to do this car. And let me get this bubble wrap out of the way here so we can see it a little better. This is an old glue bomb, and it's busted up pretty good. It's the old MPC Super Stalker, and this is a 69. And let me get this thing out. And she is a glue bomb. You can see where the fender was broken off there at one time, and heavy glue there. I'm going to soak this down and throw it in the freezer and see if I can get all this stuff to break loose and clean it up. But you know what? I thought for a Saturday night beat and banger short track car, what better than to use an old body like this? And of course, all this can be sanded and straightened up a little bit. But is that not just cool? And of course, I'll change that panel back there to the one that represents what we ran. And by the way, if you are doing any of that Super Stalker series from MPC, I think available right now is that GTO and the Monte Carlo. You can't go wrong with an old short track car. Man, this thing is dusty. Short track car than these things. Just a really cool little kit. Now, out of this, I'd mentioned I want to use some parts. The steering wheel bracket, part of this housing, the oil tank, which I'm going to be modifying some of that stuff around the firewall there. So I'll be using some of the parts off of this. But like I said, if you were going to build one, this is not bad. And of course, once I get this apart, I'm going to put it in the purple pond and strip this paint. It looks like it was, yeah, it was brush painted. You see the brush strokes in it. But going to get that cleaned up. But I don't know that this will be the Mustang that I do first, because as I said, we're going to be looking at either this 69 or the 1971. And the 71 body that I want to use is going to start probably with this one. I like the hood on this one. If I can get the top off here. I like the hood on this one because it's, well, there we go. It's got the vents that are open in it, and it's going to be easier. It's thinner and more in scale than the other AMT 71 I've got. And I want to be able to cut and raise the back portion of that hood. I don't know wherever I put it. Well, it's in there. But anyway, of course, we'll be opening the fender wells quite a bit if we do this. But this is the reason I want to sway toward this 71 is, if you remember, as you see in this picture, how right at the tire there, that whole front end kind of droops downward, has a downswept look. I think that's just wicked. But the one I worked on the most before moving on was the 69. So I kind of sway in that direction, but I got to admit, guys, this thing is just cool. So it may end up being the 71 yet, but it'll be one of those two. So look for that. And of course, we've got until May 1st of next year to have that done. But there are a few things about it that I want to get done. Now, for Atlanta, there was a couple of cars that I had in mind that I'm still undecided on, kind of, sort of. You know what, before I get to those, let me share this resin body with you. Now, this is really cool, too. I really, when I first saw this, I went, I got to have it. This is a Jimmy Flintstone piece. And check that out. You got to admit, that is rare. But a kind of a sedan delivery Mustang. And if you're interested in one of these, I'm sure Jimmy's probably still got them on his website, or if he's at one of the shows, you can pick one up. I'm sure he still has them. But I just thought, now this is really cool. So I had to have one. I'm still trying to figure out what I would want to do with it. But anyway, for Atlanta, the two things that I kind of had stuck in my mind, excuse me, one of them started with this Super Stallion. And if you're not familiar with this car, this kit is absolutely awesome. Let's start at the rear end. Look at that. If you remember my Corvette from last year, my custom Corvette, this was kind of right in line with that. Look at that upsweep. I mean, this is just a cool car. The big bulge on the hood there. This is just one of those that's really a mean looking car. All the open vents in the side, as well as the hood, real work. I have a unique paint job in mind for this one. In fact, the paint job is what caused me to buy this one. And this was going to be my Atlanta car until I ran across this picture. Not so much the car. This is a 65. Not so much the car as it was the paint. I just thought that grabber blue with those black stripes, I don't know why that just grabs me, but I love the paint scheme on that. And so what I decided to do is combine, to customize it, like the Corvette, to make a custom out of it. We're going to combine the 66 Mustang GT with the 67 GT350 Shelby. There's some parts out of each that I think I'm going to blend together to make a custom. So I guess that'd be a 66.5 or or something like, I don't have a clue. But there's going to be components off of each of these that are going to be blended together. And like I said, I really like that paint job, so I think I may go that way on that one. But I've got a couple of the Predator 3D printed engines already set aside. In fact, I've got those right here, as well as some interior ideas and perhaps maybe even some lighting. I'm not sure about that yet, but I have something in mind for these two combined that I think would be unique and make a great looking custom. So we shall see, we shall see. So there's where we are, guys. Again, happy birthday to the Mustang. The original pony car. Well, I don't want to drag it out too much more, guys, but that's where we are right now. Leave a comment, share the video, and by all means, if you can make either one of these shows, if you can make the show this coming weekend, by all means do. Come over and say hi to everybody. I'm telling you, you'll have a good time, and you'll get some great shopping done too. Guys, God bless. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Thanks, guys.